All right, folks, it's close enough.
Okay.
Let's bring this meeting to order, and you know what, let's change the agenda around a little bit. Let's take care of our visitors first. Kurt's not here tonight, so we'll just drop him altogether. We'll start with the street light question. Gentlemen, I'm gonna ask you to limit your presentations to 5 minutes, because you can talk forever, and it's not gonna make any difference. No decision will be made tonight anyway.
I understand.
So, you got 5 minutes to present your case or to tell us things you think we need to know that are extremely pertinent.
Okay, I appreciate the time and I appreciate you looking at it. I did bring a couple of photos here to show where the light is in relation to the house. First of all, this photo shows the bedroom window and the light right there. And this is looking out the bedroom window at the light.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, we have been fortunate, for the past 16 to 18 years, the light's been out. Because every time the truck would show up, my wife or I would walk out and say, well, listen, fellas, do you mind not fixing that light because it shines right in that window? And they go, and they look at the window and say, oh yeah, no problem. But this last time, apparently, they were told by whoever their dispatcher is or whatever, you know, we have to fix the light at this point. So that's when I started calling Smecco and then go from there. Now, there is a telephone pole, the next one down from us, is between two houses rather than in front of a house. So it can move there, or it can just go away. It's fine with me either way.
They already put the.
They put the shaded
shaded
thing on it
thing,
and
not
it's
doing
still,
it.
I mean,
It's too tall.
look at the pictures,
It's
it's
too tall,
right
it's tall,
there.
it's too tall.
Yeah.
But isn't there, if I may, isn't there a gentleman, property owner across the street and down from you that is objecting to it being moved?
That I don't know, and I have not had a discussion with him. I don't know if you folks have had a discussion with him. If he objects to it being moved, I'm okay with it. Don't move it, just take it down.
Well, we don't have the authority to take
We
it down.
do.
You do?
We have the
You do.
authority
I already
to
spoke
turn it
to
off.
Smecco.
We do.
And what do the other neighbors say about taking it down?
That's what, that I haven't proposed yet to
Yeah,
them.
see, this is
because-
one of those issues where one man's meat is another's Persia.
Well, I understand, but then you should do a comparison between where the light would be in reference to his house and where it is in reference to mine.
Right,
It could
right.
be moved.
Right.
Well, yes.
If you
As far as I'm
agree.
concerned, put it out on Rousby Hall Road, you need more lights out there. But I know that's not a Drum Point Road.
See, I can counter your argument by saying I not only have a light right in front of my house, it's turned towards the house,
Mhm.
and I pay for it to have it there, and it shines right
Is
in
it
the
shining in
bedroom
a bedroom
windows.
window?
2 bedroom windows,
Well,
and you know
if you
what?
can live with it
No.
that way, that's fine.
They
I
have
can't.
figured that the kids have figured out a way to keep the light out.
But
Keep the light out?
light
Yes.
shines into my yard and I don't.
Well, but that's your yard, Bonnie, that's another
Yeah,
issue.
that's the thing, it would bother me, it would bother me.
Right?
I hate it.
I mean, listen,
hate it.
I come from New York,
Yeah.
okay? I moved down here not to have,
Well, you know, I come
Lights
from New York
like that.
also, and I live in Bethesda, but I split my time down here, and I came down here for dark skies, and
exactly,
really not.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess I could
But all we can do
quiz the
is,
neighbors and
yeah,
say
quiz
this
the
is.
neighbors and see what they think.
Now-
Can we just
If
turn
they
it
have no
off?
objection to turning it off, we
That's
have
what
it turned off.
Right.
But it's, the one I've communicated with most is Mr. and Mrs. Hurlbert. I can't think of their first names. They're relatively new.
Mhm.
And they were actually pleased to have it move closer to their house because,
Well, like I
They
said,
like
it's in
the
a
light.
better position there.
but the gentleman across the street did not want to move closer. It's my
So-
understanding. Perhaps I've misunderstood.
Right, but,
But what they might be able to do, according to Mr. Herbert at Smecco, is have like a security light that would be aimed toward their house, like Tony has.
mhm.
So then it shouldn't be such an issue for you, nor for the guy across the street, but then they would have to agree to pay the $10, $12 a month. Electric
Well,
bill.
what I did also, while the light was out for all those years,
Uh-huh.
unlike all the other properties, I put reflectors along the edge of my property so people can see the line of the street without issue,
Right,
whether the light is there or not.
right. Some
So
people
it's-
just want it for security rather than just,
Right.
knowing where to drive their car and so on.
Right.
That's just how we
Mine was
feel.
there when I moved in, I
Right,
left it there.
right.
Right.
Oh, I-
Yeah, and, I'll just say, I live on Bay Drive, and I only really noticed maybe 2 lights on Bay, but I like it because it gives me security
Right.
as I walk down.
Right, but it's
At
away
night.
from your house, I assume, not right in
No.
front of your house.
It's over in the corner and it shoots into the side bedroom.
Mhm.
Which you don't use. What's the guest room?
while I'm using it now.
Oh, yeah.
The thing of it is, if you have
You know,
15 people on the
but-
streets,
Yeah,
you know, I
7 of
can
them will want it,
hit the
8 of them will
I
not,
understand.
it's
lines.
I understand. Listen, as an alternative, I'm certainly open to Smecco putting a lower wattage bulb up there.
Oh, that I didn't think about.
You know,
That's
if they
Okay,
can do that, that's
all kind of
fine.
that.
I could ask Smecco about that.
But I would prefer
Right.
that it go away.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand.
I don't blame you at all.
And there's other streets that could use the light more than where we have it there.
I'll ask, is it Charlie Herbert that you spoke with?
It is.
Okay, I'll ask him about a lower wattage bulb.
But
And
that's
then I'll
something
email
Something
the neighbors
I don't
that are
think that's
I'm
possible.
saying if we can't take it down, I would do
Right.
that.
And
Not,
I'll email the neighbors to see, you know, just about turning it off.
yeah, the gentleman that doesn't want it shining in his house is, as you said, across the street. So in comparison, that light is about 36 feet from that bedroom window. From
Right.
his house, that light would be more like 150 feet.
I think his contention was that if it's moved closer, you know, to the other pole near Hurlbert's house, that,
Mhm.
would it be closer than to his house? That's, I mean, it's
It's kind of
been
splitting.
a few days since I looked at it.
You know, I honestly don't know, I wasn't looking across the street.
Folks, let me, okay, 5 minutes are up.
Okay.
Let me recap where I think we're gonna go. It seems like we have 3 options. And one is to find out what all the neighbors think.
Right,
Do they, because if the neighbors don't object to the light being turned off, we just have it turned off.
Right.
Then the second option is to find out if if one of the neighbors wants it moved and turned so it shines on their lawn as a security light for them.
right,
And-
but they would have to pay the.
Then they have to pay for it. And that seems to be, or, well, poll the neighbors and see if anybody wouldn't object to the light being moved to another pole closer to their house. And those are really the only 3 options. Because we can't go in there and just say, oh, one of the neighbors doesn't like it, we're taking the light.
I understand,
No, we can't do
I
that.
understand.
So we find out, you know, give us a couple of weeks, we'll find out what.
Okay.
Or you should go knock on doors and convince people of your position.
Unfortunately, my schedule is such that it's hard for me, I mean, I'm there during the day, sometimes people aren't home during the day, and then I'm at
Yeah.
night,
Yeah, well, yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, we'll take it on, give us a couple of weeks, how long is it gonna
Tell you
take?
about a light
Yeah.
Well, I'll send an email
Okay.
tomorrow, it's, just kind of depends on the, how quickly people respond.
Yeah,
Some
Yeah.
people don't check their email every
Right.
hour like I do. You know,
Listen, you
so-
know, when you can get the answers, you get the
All right.
answers.
All right,
yeah, well,
Well, the other thing is maybe drop a note to them, explain your position and see, and ask them to call you.
Well, I would prefer that you folks just poll them first, and
Yeah,
then
I
if
think
there's an
so.
issue, we can address it.
we're, you know, the neighbors may respond more promptly if they
Sure.
think it's coming from the,
Sure.
right.
from the
Right.
association.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I think so.
All right, but that realistically, those are the only 3 options.
And that's fine, I understand.
We can't go anywhere else.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll let
want
you
to leave
know.
those photos with you, or?
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Actually,
It is.
And,
All right, thank you,
we'll let-
ladies and
we'll let you
gentlemen. I
know- we'll
appreciate
let
your
you know when
time.
we have an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Now, for the more serious question, Mr. Grimes.
Good luck.
Thank you. Again, you got, you know, you're not gonna come up with an answer today, so you got 5 minutes to make your case.
My best. I've dealt with Tony Perkins, who lives 2 houses down. He's been my next door neighbor for 20 years. Today I went to court and got my 3rd final peace order against him. My other 2 peace orders back in 8 and 10, he's violated both of those. This time he has went and thrown rocks at my house again, breaking siding, walked over to the shed itself. This is the ground, this is the side, this is the roof that comes down, breaking off shingles. So the state's attorney does have 2 counts of destruction of property against him right now that I'm working with. Tony has quite a record while being in Drum Point. I have all of his records if you'd like to read them, but this could be passed around, but I'll go quickly. Domestic violence, 1 count, protective order, 1 count, harassment, 4 counts, malicious destruction of property over $1,000, which is my house, 1 count. He's had 4 peace orders, failed to comply with peace order twice, both against me, 2 disorderly conducts and 1 disturbing the peace, all while he's lived 2 houses down. I have, like you had mentioned to the man previous to me, go and knock on doors. I started knocking on doors, and this is within 20 minutes of just my little area of neighbors that want him gone. They're done. They're just done with the oppressive nature that he puts and the fear that he puts in us to not even enjoy just a peaceful existence. Now, I know this is coming to you and it's quite a bit, but it's been quite a bit. That's just absolutely enough. The last episode that I've had with him, I do have on video. If anybody wants to watch it, they're more than welcome to watch it. It's more than the 3.5 minutes I have a lot of time, but it's available where you can hear him breaking the house, see him trespassing on Virginia's yard to do that, into my yard to do that. He got to Nathan, who lives right next door, actually laid hands on him, was told multiple times, get off my property, get off my property. And he does have issues upstairs, but he gets to this where he thinks everybody's throwing rocks at his house. Nobody's throwing rocks at his house. I work for the government, I have a security clearance. The last thing I need to do is start throwing rocks at somebody's house. He even tried to explain that to the judge today, the judge didn't want to hear it. His new thing now is to call the police late at night and tell them somebody's throwing rocks at my house at 10:30 at night. Then he says, I think Maddox is doing it, so then they have to come to my house at 10:30, waking me up. So now he's using the police as a source of harassment. I've told the police, if you come to my house again on one of these calls, I will sue the police department for as much as I can for harassment, because this is just ridiculous. Both the police department and the courts are very aware of what's going on. What I'm coming to Drum Point for is A, to make you guys well aware of what's going on 2 houses down and what I've put up with for 20 years, and it's enough. I've had poisoned food thrown in my yard for the dogs. He thinks I'm training the dogs to kill him. We've got that in one of the other, where he told the cops that. And it's just been, it's too much. It's just too much. Now, I know in your charter, and excuse me if I use the wrong words, and please correct me if I'm wrong, where it says, we want to protect the wealth and the health and welfare of people in Drum Point. I also noticed that in your,
bylaws.
okay, that you, as Drum Point Homeowners Association, can go to government officials. You can go and advocate. Now, I don't know how many signatures and how much Drum Point needs to be made aware of this before you, and this is not threatening at all now. By no means am I threatening. I really want to work with you guys. But I know you can do, and I went down several rabbit holes of like, what can Drum Point do? I know I was looking online, you can do an abatement of a nuisance, okay? If we bring together that it's not just me, I'm coming to you guys with these people's signatures because they will come here too and give their testimony as to how he's made their lives hell. When you can prove that he's a nuisance, go to the government, file for an abatement of nuisance, and he can be barred from the Drum Point Housing Association.
I'd like to talk to more than one lawyer. He has a home fee simple,
It's money.
even, again,
This-
even the government can't throw him out of that house without a long legal procedure. While I have great sympathy for your problem, I think we have to talk to our lawyer to see what we can do, because otherwise, we're getting involved in an argument between neighbors. And I realize that sounds simplistic.
You're more representing your association members rather than just coming to I'm posing it. I'm posing it on behalf of many people, at which I can get more
But
people.
we have, I've got to find out from our lawyer, do we have any legal standing here?
Okay.
It's the old phrase, we may not even have a dog in this fight.
But you may.
If we do, that's a different story.
Fantastic.
But I'm not about to make any kind of commitment without somebody telling me that just because somewhere it says abatement of nuisance, I don't know, abatement of nuisance, you tell me they have a dog that's starting to chase kids and maybe trying to bite people, I have no problem whatsoever. But when you're talking about a dependent living in a house with a parent, suddenly we have, it's a different issue.
A 53-year-old dependent.
It's a different issue. Has anybody called social services? Not the police, social services.
I have not. I don't have that wherewithal to do that.
Why not?
Why do I?
You call social services and you go, we have a neighbor that's really quite a nuisance, he seems to have a mental issue, blah, 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 blah. And can't you come and talk to him and see what the issue is?
This is a free mediation service that the county offers.
Oh, but that's not for us, it's for them.
It's for him, I
Yeah.
know, so I was gonna offer it to him and offer it to anybody.
Yeah, but
Because,
I have a feeling
it's-
that.
It's been
I
going
have-
on for 20 years.
Yeah.
No, you'd be surprised, you would be surprised. This
Okay,
other
well.
person may feel the need for mediation as well. And it may,
But,
it
Ma'am,
may,
if I may stop all of this this ball from rolling, we have a court-signed peace order. I cannot speak with him or have any contact with him for 6 months, and neither can he
That's
with
right.
me. So this is null and void for the next 6 months.
Mhm.
I understand the idea, and I'm not saying that I'm opposed to it 6 months from now, but while I don't have to deal with him for he's violated the other
He
two.
keeps throwing rocks in your yard.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but still, I would try calling social services and saying, you know, can they do anything to help to get involved? Because they do have a legal mandate in this kind of.
understandable, but at the same time, I think that I would appreciate if Drum Point looked at their legal
We will-
standpoint as
yeah,
well,
we
and
will-
I'm not expecting to leave here, sir,
You
with
will-
any type of a
Oh,
decision.
no, yeah.
We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
She and I have had ad nauseam
Couple
conversations about this,
Yeah.
and we're very much seeing eye to eye on this.
What
I
do
know,
the police do when you call the police? What do they suggest you do? Are they,
Get a peace order.
they've been used, oh, that's it, that's what
yeah,
they suggest.
that's all I have. I
That's
can't
all
even
I
get a
have.
protective order because it's not like we were in a relationship. So I can't get a protective order against him. I can only do a peace order. You can only get a 6-month peace order.
Mhm.
He doesn't even, the past 2 peace orders, he's violated. I've had
how,
to-
how so?
breaking my windows,
How do you know he did that?
he admitted to it.
And he admitted to these pictures?
We haven't gotten to this yet. But
That's
like
on
I
the
said,
Yeah, but that's,
I've got the video of that. I don't care what he admits to, I've got the video, and the police the police have seen the video, and they're the ones who went to the district attorney and the state's attorney, and that's where the state's attorney is going after him for the destruction of property, so.
the only thing I can say is literally, we have to talk to our attorney, find out what legal standing or authorities we have, if we have any, and we'll see what he says.
Can they jail him for this, or can they, is there?
For the
ways
peace
in-
order?
No, I mean, the business of, you said that the county attorney has.
Oh, the destruction of property
Mhm,
charges
What can
against
they
him?
do?
Basically
Fine
what'll
him
happen is
or-
what they'll do is they will have a contractor come out, assess the damage, whatever it takes to fix, and then he has to pay it. And
Has he
I have to go
paid?
through all the trouble while he
Yeah.
sits in his house, and I have to go through all this
Has he
trouble.
paid for any damages in the past?
Yes,
Okay, so that.
yes,
so
but
it
the
just-
thing
it
is
doesn't stop,
just
yeah.
because he pays
Yeah.
for it, doesn't make it right, cause if
No.
that's the case, I've got $10,000 right now, I'll blow. I don't have a problem, but I'm a better person, I'm a
Yeah.
decent person, and I'm not trying to have it a tit for tat situation. This isn't the
No,
wild, wild
no,
west.
no, no,
We have
no.
rules, we have regulations, and we have, you know.
But they probably can't evict him. You know.
You cannot evict him.
But the county,
The county can do so much more.
I don't think they can evict them either.
Okay,
I don't think they have the legal authority.
You're a lawyer?
I mean, the best
Yes,
thing
we
would
have
be,
to ask the
we'll
lawyer.
get our lawyer,
That's right, and
Yeah.
that's,
the
yeah,
definitive thing,
and
what
we
can
get an
we do?
answer.
This mustn't happen, this happens all the time.
But this
Well,
has been
something
going on
down here
for
in
20
Blue
years,
Point.
If
it's
you
awful.
feel threatened, I feel like there should be something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
That's the peace order.
Especially
That's
since it's
the-
more than just you, it's these other people that have signed that have had difficulty.
Oh, he's got assault charges on directly across from him. Pal had to put up that white fence just to keep him away from his kids. You don't see his kids play out front anymore, they all play out back now. Because it's out of control. And if I need to, I will be more than happy to get Virginia Rich in here for the peeping Tom you know, and all that she's had to go through, and I can get Powell in here, and I can get them in here, and you can hear all of their stories. It's not, I'm not just speaking for me, I am presenting my story, but I am speaking for the people that are on this paper. I've not went to Powell, he'll sign in half a second, go to them, they'll sign in half a second. I don't think anybody in Drum Point, after seeing that video, wouldn't sign that, because nobody wants this. It's like a rabid dog, if it doesn't see you, it doesn't attack, but if it sees you, then it does its thing. He had no reason to lay hands on Nathan, but yet he laid hands on Nate the other day.
That's, yeah,
When he went-
that is shown.
And I've got that on video. I mean, it's just,
So, anyway, let's find out what legal
So I'll
leeway
send
we
you-
have, yeah. Find
I'll
out,
shield the email tomorrow.
yeah.
I'll copy you on it.
and see what,
if any of you guys want to see the video, I know you have more business to conduct.
Yes.
She has it, you're more than
She
welcome to
has
see
it.
it. She
I would
absolutely
like to
has
see
it.
it.
It's bothersome.
How long is the video?
Depending, you can
minutes.
fast forward through some
Yeah, that's what I do.
areas,
But
but
some of it is him just sort of going back and forth, and you can hear him, or, you know,
Just
kind of
leave.
cussing and cursing a little
He's
bit.
not right
But then
upstairs.
there are points where he approaches the house, and at one
But
point,
he's
he
clearly
goes off
dangerous.
video.
Too.
Well, I mean, you can hear the rock hit the house, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then the altercation with Nathan,
Mhm.
that's all on there. And Nathan telling him, get off my lawn, you know, what are you doing, get off my yard, and then it continues.
Yeah,
That's
so.
kind of awful.
I appreciate you guys' time.
Yep.
And hopefully we can work together to find some kind of a resolution for this. The courts just aren't enough. They're just not, a peace order is just not. He doesn't care because he's gonna violate it. He's gonna get pissed off one day and he's gonna violate again. Will he go to jail? Yeah, for a couple days. He doesn't have a job, he doesn't have a car, he has no mortgage.
There's
He
an elderly
doesn't-
mother in the house, is that?
Mhm.
is it-
She's quite elderly though, don't know how old,
Yeah,
but she's
so,
not young.
I mean,
well, we have to
Let me
find out.
just react just a little bit. I'm really sympathetic and I wish there was something, when you say the courts can't do anything,
Just
the courts have so much more power than
Yeah.
homeowners
Yeah,
associations.
yeah.
We can do hardly nothing,
Yeah.
regardless of what our lawyer says.
It's
The
gonna
courts
be-
have all the authority.
Uphill road for us, but we'll see this has to happen before we find
That's
out
right.
how
We'll
much
find
people
out,
do
yeah.
it and we'll
Yeah,
get
It's
it
a
right.
nasty situation, and you truly have our sympathy.
oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
awful.
We can't commit to any course of action.
it's not, well, once again, I do wanna reiterate for the millionth time, it's not just me, it's
Right.
everybody
Yeah.
that is being affected by this. This isn't just an isolated incident, this is 20 years of him against Naga and them and Powell and Virginia and me, and it's like, oh my God, and now Nathan, and it's just like, stop, 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 it just doesn't stop, and it's all because he thinks people are throwing rocks at his
You
house.
can tell you're at your wits' end.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I can
beyond,
tell that, that's
beyond
awful.
the pale.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to me, and I
We'll-
appreciate
we'll
your
let-
time, guys.
We'll let you know what we find out.
If you guys need anything, need any legal documentation to send to your attorney or anything, I've given you.
You give
What I-
Nathan the stack, which I
Yeah,
can copy.
so- Thank you once again, guys, have a great
All right.
night.
Thank you.
All right, and, hope it's gonna get resolved.
Well,
Finally for
If
you.
it hasn't in 20 years, it's not.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Why don't we
Because then that wasn't a copy.
a real resolution?
I just wanna sleep at night.
No, I don't get these. And I can scan it and send it to Tom Schiller if he wants it.
All right, approval of the December minutes. Anybody have a motion?
Yeah,
Is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Done. Moving right along. President's remarks. President hasn't been here in a long time, he doesn't have any remarks. Nobody knows his name. So let's just move right along. Office update.
I've processed the statements for the upcoming year, they're all printed. And the adjustment for the covenants will go from $106 to $109. So it's a consumer price index calculator, $10.1948 is worth $109 today. So that's what that is. So the total for developed property is 164. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we'll let you know when we have something.
Yes, sir, thank you very much for your time.
So 164 for developed property and 129 for undeveloped.
Hmm?
Are you gonna say something? The burdocks at the beach and the vegetation removal permit, I submitted that, and we had to also do a simplified buffer management plan. along with the vegetation removal permit, but we will not have to mitigate. Because we can, similar to the Phragmites, we can allow 2 years, because it's getting rid of invasive species.
Where is this again?
On the beach, the
On
little
the beach,
bird
okay,
birds.
those
Yeah.
little birds, those birds,
Yes,
yeah.
and you do need a vegetation removal permit. Just
Yeah, well,
Anyway, you do, yes.
well,
Yes, you
we're,
do, you're in the.
How about for dandelions?
Talk to Robin.
I'm sorry, I should call it by its proper name, arugula.
Definitely. My mother used to do it. Anyway, so I submitted that, and I don't imagine it'll be an issue, but it's to removal by hand, which I don't know how else you would. And she suggested we keep a copy on file, because we'll have to renew it every 2 years. It's like an ongoing problem.
Wow.
no, is the cockleburs, they're not considered invasive, are they?
Yes,
Oh, they are.
they are. Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's it, I repeated that.
All right, good. All right, let's go around the table and we'll see let's start with Peter. He's sitting in the peanut gallery.
You know, the Larsons had a serious problem with people across the street, whose house has recently burned down,
Ah, there's a solution.
and who
Is he from West Philly?
sold drugs to the neighbor who then died from an overdose.
Oh, really?
And we had a meeting at Larson's house, I mean, apropos to what we were just talking about. There's a chop shop opposite his house, and basically, I would say a drug dealer, and they've been trying to get rid of this guy for a long time. And we had police come, and we met at Larson's house, it was about 2 or 3 years ago, to see if there's anything anybody can do. I don't think Larson ever came to the board regarding it. And the police said they know that this is a bad guy, he's been to prison a couple of times, and they said they will do some undercover work or whatever and see if they can nail him. You know, he had 6 or 7 cars without license plates, and they're working on a car, running a business here, and they shouldn't have. I guess if they had come to us, we might have been able to say, well, you're not allowed to run a business in this place, but you have to prove it. We never had any receipts or anything. The bottom line is that the police really didn't do anything. And until his house burned down for whatever reason, and he was thrown in jail for burning down somebody's boat over in St. Mary's County, we got, Eric and his neighbors got very little relief from anybody. And yet, this guy was, I mean, a lot worse than what we just heard. So I guess from a safety committee point of view, I can mention it, Matt, in my report to you all, but I think you're doing the right thing. That's, other than that, I was down at the beach, the sand's come back about 90%. They had an east wind and a south wind, which filled it up. Day after tomorrow, it may go away again, God knows what. That's another subject that I'll let Kurt and others deal with. But other than that, we don't have any safety issues that I've been made aware of.
Good. Asha?
Yeah, I'm talking about the beach, I've noticed the sand coming back too, but you can tell there's still a lot of erosion, because if you look where the fence is, like as a jog point, you can see how the shoreline's like farther up.
Oh yeah, he comes back, but every year a little less comes
Yeah,
back.
But it's really like a couple of, you can tell that it's eating away around the fence.
And they're talking about vandalism, there's some nice people that go down to that beach. That nice gate, wooden gate that I guess Ralph and company had installed, it's all broken
Oh,
out.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Bummer.
But I wanted to talk about, you know where the Phragmites was removed on, the Lake Charming and, like, where the causeway is, major one.
yeah.
You can really see all the trash in there now.
Oh.
I mean,
okay.
I just walked by and I saw like 20 bottles, there's like
Okay,
alcohol
yeah.
bottles, Gatorade bottles, and like to pick up that trash, you would need like boots and, you know, to get in the water, but is there anything
We must
we
have
can
somebody who
do
can clean that up, yeah.
to clean that up a
Can it
little
wait
bit?
until the spring?
I don't know, I mean,
So
they're
it's a
fish
little
and things that are trying to, you know,
We have hip waders, whatever they're
birds.
called.
Yeah.
We have a person who would do that.
I don't, would Joe do something like that? Is he able to?
There's some
I
like.
mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's cold right now. I
It's
wouldn't
not
ask
cold
Joe
to
do
ask
it.
anybody to get into that water, but the water was probably,
Yeah.
I mean, a day or two of warm air.
It can wait, it can wait, it can wait till spring.
Is some of it accessible from not going in the water, is it just, you could walk along, we could get somebody to pick up?
Well, Eric and I do that, I
Oh, I
mean, we
know
walk
you
the
do
dogs
that.
and we pick up the trash along there, but you need like gators or something to get into the
Oh, this is
water.
way, yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
think if we had like a young man to, you know, I wouldn't want, even Rodney, you know, he's
Well,
somewhere.
there's quite a lot of trash, and then the birds and things eat it, I mean, it's
Yeah, that's
harmful.
not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So the Frank Moniz was doing something good.
I'll
Well,
put,
what I'm hiding it,
can I put like
we
a
have to worry
task
about it, we didn't like know about
March
it.
in the springtime to have.
Yeah, it's better than
have that
nothing,
attended
yeah.
to?
Well, that's awful.
Hmm.
Well, when we want to get those canes removed, those dead cranes removed, which we have talked about it, then we should do it at that time. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's not
something
a
that
bad
should do it at
idea.
that time.
Yeah, if you're already in there,
But
yeah.
nobody's getting into the water to remove the canes. I mean, those are just big.
Well, if they have to cut it
Cut
down,
down.
well, then they have to take it away, we're gonna let it lie there.
True, but I
So
mean, they're
that
not
they-
actually wading into the
No,
water, they're
so that
standing
the
on it.
vegetation.
You kind of know, I mean, you haven't noticed it, I mean, is it like it's building up? Or is it kind of like the same amount of trash in
It
there?
seems like it's more, but I don't know if it's because it's
There's a
Sure,
heavy drinking
see
going.
more.
Was that what they said, Party Central down
It's
there?
more
or something?
visible. More visible.
I think it's just more visible,
Just
yeah.
ridiculous.
All right, well, okay, that'll be something for
Nevertheless,
us for the spring, we'll take care of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else?
That's all I have.
Jimmy?
Nothing.
Jack?
I went over the financials today, they all look exactly on track. Not much,
Good.
all expected changes from the last time we talked about it, so.
Can I
The figures
just-
are pretty, and then there's the one additional one.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. If you notice on the balance sheet, it has the STD amount being held by the county. It's listed as $314,386. It's on the front of the balance sheet.
Yeah.
That is not, that's as of the end of September. The woman at the county does not do the reports as often. They've added several tasks to her list of things to do, so she just can't get to them as often. If you subtract the 122,000 we just drew for paving, it should be about $191,246 in county held STD money. Just so you know.
And we would use that if it snows, right?
Oh, yes.
I guess that's easy.
What is, maybe you can just explain this to me, because I'm not really understanding. What's the allowance for doubtful accounts, like the 45,000, what is that?
Those are, there's 60-some odd lots that
Okay, then.
people do not pay,
Right,
in fact, never
We
paid
probably
some.
already.
That can be
like that.
addressed at
Okay.
some point according to our accountant, if we want to have it permanently removed. I think we've maybe talked about this, I don't know. I don't
Some, we
remember.
don't, do we know who owns all those lots, or in some cases?
Yeah, we
Some
have
cases we
owners,
don't.
well, we have owners listed, but I think, you know, a lot of them are in tax sale, they're not viable.
Or they're deceased, or
They're
they're moved.
deceased, great grandnieces have inherited them and not,
They-
they don't
they
know
don't
they
even
don't
know.
win.
They don't even know.
So, yes and no. We know, but we don't know.
Yeah. The good news is you've inherited this property, the bad news is you've got about $5,000 in
Right, and in back taxes too,
That's
in
not the
many
kind of
cases.
news
That's right,
you want
fees
to
and
hear.
taxes.
Right, and in order to have it removed permanently from the balance sheet, would take a motion of the board. But
Well,
I don't know that it's
see, I
necessary,
don't
but it
think-
will build every
Well,
year.
it's good to just
Yeah,
know what it's,
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to know what it is.
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
It doesn't offend anybody, it's
Right.
easily explained.
Yeah, as long as
It
you know what
is.
it
Yeah,
is.
and, you know, and we just
So if you
know.
wanted to look at accounts receivable and get a better idea of how much we might collect, you would subtract that from there.
Because you're not gonna collect.
Because you're not
Right.
going to.
We're not gonna collect on that.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a good idea to just keep carrying.
But it will build year after year.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
just
we
so
should,
you're
just so we
aware.
know though, I mean,
Yeah,
we
we know,
need
that
to.
way we know.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have anything other than this. I think it's a great free, you know, something that the county offers, it's free, and, I really think that he and his neighbor might get some benefit from it. I know he's got the peace order going on, but you'd be surprised, you would be
I
surprised.
think we've used that mediation service.
We have used the
Have you
mediation where
really?
we file claims on people, and it does
Oh,
work quite
yeah,
well. But
yeah.
I just
We're
would
dealing with
question it working
Right.
with
Well, that's
a young
true.
man
That's
who's not
true.
at full capacity.
Yeah,
But,
so that's,
yeah.
we had an issue, it's a little different.
Yeah,
In Silver
yeah.
Spring, we had a neighbor that had some mental challenges, and they suggested mediation, it didn't work. And the
Reasonable
police
people, I
came, they
think,
kept
yeah.
coming, he was threatening people, he was, you know, like physically threatening people, and eventually, he went to jail, and ended up going to jail for a long time, but it was a sad situation, because you
That's right.
know that there were like mental issues as well that like needed to be
Did he own the
addressed.
house in that?
It was his, mother's,
Oh, another.
yeah,
So,
but his mother wasn't there,
Adult men.
yeah.
as far as the tape, are we gonna watch that, or is it, I mean, is
I
it?
wouldn't
He brought it
I
with the
wouldn't-
idea.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
wouldn't bother.
you've seen it, I mean, is it horrific, is it, you
It's
know?
terrific if you're living it.
Well,
I mean,
that's true,
You know,
yeah.
everybody's perspective
Yeah.
is different.
Do you know who this person is, cause I don't.
I do,
I don't
he lives
know.
just 2 doors down with his mom,
Okay.
he's been
For
in the
those of you,
office.
for those of you who wanna watch this as a matinee, Rhea will provide some
There you go.
popcorn.
Stop by tomorrow.
And you'll
He
stop
left
by
you with a
and-
list of, he left you with a list of the people that also signed in.
Yes, I think I have
Okay.
that.
No, no,
So,
but
so I've interacted with him, and he's been perfectly fine. He came into the office one time, a few years ago, I helped him set up his online gaming. He got me
How
game
old is he?
system for Christmas, he's 53.
Oh, my.
I believe 53, so he's not a child physically. So I haven't had any issues, he has a skateboard going up and down the driveway in the summertime. I had no idea that this was going on, none. So when he came in, I asked him about that line in this, because it said something about our being aware of it and not doing anything. And I said, this is the first time
Yeah,
I've
I've never
heard
heard
of
of
it.
it.
And so he, I didn't, I was upset when I wrote it, understandably
The
so.
tone of
So
that
he-
little thing is a little harsh.
It's pretty hard.
Well, he's
Yeah,
pretty-
that in
But he's been
particular.
dealing with it
That's
for
what
20
I'm
years,
saying.
yeah, probably
It's
already
a
there.
man,
and
Right.
You
you
take
could
it-
tell he was
You
pretty
take a
upset,
deep
right.
breath and you rewrite it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's at his wit's end, and I
He
don't
is.
blame him. I
He
feel
is.
sad for him.
I do
feel sad for
It's
this situation.
difficult.
If I were here, I would have moved 20 years ago,
Well,
or 10 years ago anyhow.
well, he talked about
But-
that
but
when he
people
was in
shouldn't
today.
have to,
He doesn't-
yeah, they shouldn't-
Right, he
he
likes
shouldn't
it,
have to
he
do
likes
it.
his neighbors,
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
large, on and on, so.
I guess, or are you done?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, sir.
I'm just
Yes.
saying, I have discovered a new invasive species, Virginia is already aware, I said we have it. It's called a Japanese stilt grass. This is in the Bay Weekly back in November.
And he's still.
So it's a- and I gave her a copy of it.
Come to my yard, you'll see a lot of it.
Oh,
Oh,
no wonder you're aware of
because
it.
we probably have it too, but I have no idea.
Yeah, that's really
Okay,
bad.
this is for Rhea, for your records.
Okay.
And then the other thing was the Wall Street Journal had another article just a couple of days ago about, called the Roundup Stick Up, and a trial lawyer allegedly argues it's cheaper to be extorted than sued. But there's a paragraph in here, again stating that the EPA and international regulators have conducted extensive research and concluded that glyphosate, the active ingredient, isn't carcinogenic, so another.
Oh,
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's,
That's questionable.
No, no,
That
wait,
is questionable.
when you use according to
Yeah.
directions, don't shower with it,
Yeah,
don't
I know.
drink it, don't
Sometimes you
brush
have
your
to
teeth
use
with it.
it.
And, but this is
When the
EPA.
wind's blowing
And
in
what
your
we use
face,
here
don't use it.
is the county-approved version of it for wetlands.
It's been linked to non-Hodgkin lymphoma.
Well,
It's-
That's
We're losing
not,
birds.
that's
We're
the court
losing
case,
birds
that's
left
a
and right.
fraud.
I mean, there's gotta be
That's the court
something.
case, that's a fraud.
That study has been completely.
That is not a scientific study.
Yeah, that's-
Agent Orange was safe.
But let's leave
So,
that
so,
story.
Okay.
so it's not
Moving
settled,
right
it's
along.
I know,
not
I
settled, it's
know.
not settled.
Sorry,
Moving right
I'll
along.
read it, I'll read
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay.
Not saying a word.
That's it?
It's-
You're gonna end on Roundup?
That's it, that's it. We're rounding up.
All right, we're on old business. Is there any old business? I haven't been around so long. I'm old business. I don't know. No old business. Any new business? Look at that. When's the next meeting?
Wow.
February something, I don't know.
I can't believe it's like this time already.
I think,
I know.
four, is four, I
This is
think
not
is, I think,
necessarily for the record, but,
Well, then why
Well,
don't
then
you
don't bring it up
videotape?
because the tape is on and the machine is on.
Why don't you wait?
it's
I
February,
did
February fourth is a Tuesday, I believe, February fourth.
Correct.
I did see there was a crime report in the Calvert Recorder, about Drum Point sign being taken or something. Did you hear anything about that? I think it was the club sign. It was stolen.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
think for a minute, yes. You're-
Yeah.
I don't know, I just saw that in the Calvert
Jack knows
Recorder.
because he went to look for it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
no, it's the
And you-
associations.
Oh, it was the association
That's a
sign that
different
got
sign.
stolen, you
Oh,
had to
no,
call the
no.
There
police.
was one of our signs stolen.
Yes.
Oh, who
Yeah.
would steal that sign?
It's one of the
Somebody
white
was-
signs announcing the general membership
Who
meeting.
would steal that sign?
Yeah, Vandals, I suppose.
Is that the one that was, was that what was in the report?
It was, yeah, I thought it was the club.
Most
but it-
recently.
Yeah.
It's the one that got knocked down right here on Beretta.
Oh, that one, yes, yes.
And that's on the county right away.
That's county, and I called the
But it
county
is a
highway.
different sign, so.
It is, but I called county highway to have them at least take that post out of it.
So are we officially having the meeting February fourth, or are we still deciding?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. I got a new phone, I can't make it work. It took me that long to get the calendar.
Oh,
Poor thing.
Hey, you know, they still sell these.
My old,
Yeah.
my old phone
I like to
suffered a
write everything
catastrophic
down.
death.
Write down on your thing and save that piece of paper.
yeah, yeah,
There
Well,
you
when's the next meeting?
February fourth.
February 4th? Okay. Anything else? Any other comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.